This evening, first up, a historic milestone in education. Guyana celebrates its best NGSA results in 5 years with a perfect score from one top student. But what's driving this academic leap and what does it mean for the future of secondary education? Plus, a shocking twist in what looked like a tragic accident. What was initially believed to be a tragic accident is now being treated as a possible staged drowning. Now a man known as Natty Boy is charged with her murder and out on bail. Also, from farmland to industrial powerhouse, President Irfaan Ali unveils bold plans to turn Region 3 into the industrial capital of Guyana. We'll break down the billion-dollar vision that could reshape the country's economic future. Meanwhile, it's official. 24 political parties have filed their symbols for Guyana's 2025 general and regional elections. With nomination day fast approaching, the race to the ballot box is heating up. And tensions abroad. Just hours after a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, cracks are already showing. US President Donald Trump lashes out on live TV, accusing Israel of betrayal. All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 25th, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the 2025 National Grade 6 Assessment, NGSA, has produced the best academic results in 5 years, with significant improvements across all 4 core subjects: English, mathematics, science, and social studies. According to the Caribbean Examinations Council's Director of Operations, Dr. Nico Manning, this year's overall scores are the highest recorded in half a decade. English saw a 69.25% pass rate. Social studies saw 64.77% pass rate. Science is 63.7%, and mathematics, traditionally the weakest subject, rose dramatically to 55.51%, up from 40.36% in 2024. Education Minister Priya Manichan credited the success to back-breaking and consistent work, noting that over 15,800 students were registered for the exam, with 15,497 present, the highest turnout since the COVID-19 pandemic. She also highlighted improvements in educational access, including accommodations for children with special needs and Spanish-speaking students. Top honors went to Tinashe Destiny Hope Myers, who achieved a perfect score. Khalesia Hampersad placed second, while Christian Caden David Ramsey, Malika Sami, and Sadeya Swami shared the third place position. Minister Manichan also announced that by September 2025, Guyana will have more high schools than ever before, moving closer to achieving universal secondary education. She assured parents that all secondary schools will offer a full range of subjects to support academic success. The NGSA, administered by CXC, tested students in mathematics, English, science, and social studies through multiple choice and open-ended formats, using content primarily from the grade 5 curriculum due to pandemic-related disruptions. A man has been charged with the death of a 22-year-old mother whose body was found in a submerged car. Dominic Kittins has more on the disturbing development.
Alfred DJ John, also known as Natty Boy, was charged with the death of 22-year-old Stacey Walton and granted bail following his appearance at the Reliance Magistrates Court earlier today. DJ John appeared before Magistrate Michelle Matthias, where the charge was read to him, and he was placed on $1 million bond. The case has been transferred to the New Amsterdam Magistrate Court and will be called again on July 1st. Walton, a mother of one from Alexander Street, New Amsterdam, was initially believed to have died in a vehicular accident on June 20th at No. 7 Village, East Bank, Berbice. Her body was discovered strapped inside a submerged car owned by DJ John. However, a post-mortem examination performed by government pathologist Dr. Vivekanandan Brijmohan revealed that Walton died from asphyxia and drowning, not from injuries consistent with a car crash. Police now suspect that DJ John, who was reportedly present at the scene, forcefully drowned Walton by pushing her head into the trench, then placed her body back into the car and staged the scene to look like an accident. The charge was laid based on legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. Police investigations into the incident are ongoing. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Dominic Gittins.
Thanks, Dominic. President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali has unveiled an ambitious vision to transform Region 3 Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, into a major economic engine of Guyana. Speaking at the Region 3 Chambers of Commerce and Industries Business Networking event on Tuesday, the President described the traditionally agriculture-based region as the emerging industrial capital of the country.
Access to cheaper and more reliable energy will unlock a new wave of manufacturing, agro-processing, and heavy industry, placing this area at the heart of Guyana's energy-led transformation.
President Ali emphasized that robust public investments, modern infrastructure, and strategic planning are driving the shift, highlighting projects like the new Demerara River Bridge, the Gas to Energy Initiative, and expanded road networks. He said these developments will ensure manufacturing, agro-processing, and heavy industry. He also emphasized the importance of zoning regulations to prevent haphazard growth and called on business community to collaborate with the government for sustainable development.
My government will continue to support this region's agriculture through modern technology, extension services, and better infrastructure will ensure that the region retain its role as a national breadbasket while adapting to a challenging and new economic landscape.
Ali reaffirmed the administration's commitment to agriculture and pledged continued investment in fisheries and sugar alongside modernization efforts. He added that Region 3 has surpassed Region 6 in population and is now leading in economic progress. Plans for the region include a highway from Schooner to Parika, industrial zones, a rice stabilization facility, upgraded healthcare and education systems, and tourism infrastructure, including a cricket stadium.
These are some of the things that we are going to pursue in the future to ensure that we have a highly competitive ecosystem to support the regional development.
The President concluded that Region 3 is set to become a model of resilience and productivity interconnected with the national economy. Stick around when we return. West Indies cricketer accused of sexual assault in Guyana, and 24 political parties submit symbols ahead of September 1st general and regional elections.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. A prominent Guyanese and West Indies cricketer is at the center of a growing controversy as serious allegations of sexual assault have surfaced involving a 24-year-old woman. The incident, which reportedly occurred in Providence just before the player left the country, has sparked public concerns over the handling of such cases, particularly as this is not the first time similar accusations have been made against that individual. The well-known Guyanese and West Indies cricketer is facing serious allegations of sexual assault, with a 24-year-old accusing him of attacking her following what was supposed to be a consensual date. According to reports, the incident occurred in Providence, East Bank Demerara, just before the player departed Guyana. The woman and her family, in an interview with Kaitra News, stated that despite several attempts, she was unable to officially file a report with the Guyana police force. The woman has reportedly provided photographs of injuries and WhatsApp messages allegedly from the cricketer apologizing and attempting to offer money to keep the incident private. She claimed she refused the offer. This is not the first time the cricketer's name has surfaced in connection with similar allegations. At least 4 previous incidences have been reported, with one involving a police investigation, although no charges were laid. Cricket West Indies has not issued an official statement, but internal sources stated that the board was made aware of the latest claim and is reviewing additional allegations against the player. The case has raised concerns about how sexual misconduct allegations involving high-profile athletes are handled, especially when victims report inactions from law enforcement. The matter remains under investigation. In other news, with Guyana's general and regional elections scheduled for September 1st, 2025, the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, has confirmed that 24 political parties have submitted their symbols for approval. The submissions were made in response to GECOM's public notice inviting interested parties to submit their electoral symbols by the June 23rd deadline. The Commission is expected to review and make decisions on the symbols by Tuesday, July 1st. Parties will be notified immediately thereafter. As part of the electoral process, each party must present its list of candidates on nomination day, set for July 14, 2025, along with the approved symbols. GECOM has reaffirmed its commitment to transparency and stakeholder engagement as it continues preparations for the highly anticipated elections. Don't go away after the break. Bangladesh Rohingyas camp lose schools to 8 cuts, and what's in the NPT, and why has Iran threatened to pull out of the treaty?
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Venezuelan influencer Gabriel Jesus Sarmiento was fatally shot on Monday while live streaming on TikTok in Marrakech. Known for criticizing gangs and alleged police corruption, Sarmiento had recently reported threats from organized crime groups and suspected law enforcement officials. Authorities have launched an investigation into his death, assigning the 69th Prosecutor's Office against Organized Crime to the case. His killing follows a wave of deadly attacks on Latin American influencers during live streams. The ceasefire between Israel and Iran has shown early signs of strain and has triggered frustration and a televised expletive from United States President Donald Trump, who accused Israel of undermining the deal just hours after its announcement. Al Jazeera's Behdad Mahichi reports.
Just hours before the ceasefire, a barrage of bombs from Israeli warplanes on the Iranian capital. State-run media called it the heaviest bombardment since the conflict began. And later, in Israel, more blasts in Beersheba from Iranian missiles bypassing defense systems. These were meant to be the final strikes, the US president congratulating both sides for agreeing to a truce, writing "God bless Israel, God bless Iran." But later a visibly angry US president, with that shaky truce facing immediate tests. Israel began to launch more strikes on Iran, accusing Tehran of violating the deal, drawing the fury of the president, a staunch ally of Israel.
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand that?
In what the White House calls a firm and direct phone call with the Israeli Prime Minister, Trump ordered Israeli bombers to turn back, to abandon their missions, drawing attacks to a complete close. Both sides declaring victory. Israel says the conflict resulted in historic achievements and removed existential threats to the country from Iran's nuclear program. Iran's state television framed it as a ceasefire imposed on Israel, following what it called a successful attack on a U.S. military base in Qatar. In Tehran, thousands celebrated the end to the conflict.
The ones you killed, the Iranian elites, Iran will avenge them. One day they will be avenged. You will be caught off guard. We will catch you off guard, be sure of that.
But the underlying issues remain, and so does the deep-rooted animosity between the two countries. While the US president is adamant Iran's nuclear capabilities have been destroyed, the assessment is much less clear. Trump has called it the 12-day war, and many are hoping that number won't change. Bedad Mehichi, Al Jazeera.
With a ceasefire between Iran and Israel hanging in the balance, questions are now being asked about the future of the Iranian nuclear program. Al Jazeera's Osama bin Javid looks at the risk ahead.
Iran's Natanz, Fordo and Isfahan nuclear facilities were repeatedly hit in Sunday's US attacks. Tehran's lack of a nuclear bomb did not prove to be a deterrent. Including the United States, there are 9 nuclear-armed countries in the world. Israel is the only one undeclared. Others include Russia, China, France, UK, Pakistan, India and North Korea. These countries have successfully developed nuclear warheads. They all operate nuclear facilities to enrich uranium or produce plutonium, and can launch nuclear weapons by delivering those warheads using missiles, aircraft or submarines. In addition to launching systems, the 9 countries have secure safeguards to prevent unauthorized use. Many believe that US attacks on Iran are only going to push it towards acquiring a nuclear weapon.
Now, given the enormity of the situation that Iran faces, I think it's beyond the time where they would use it for leverage. I think they would have to feel like they have to respond very visibly in some big fashion. And pulling out of the NPT is one of the few cards actually they can play on the diplomatic stage.
Iran's future as part of the Non-Proliferation Treaty or NPT is in doubt. NPT is the world's most important agreement to stop the spread of nuclear weapons. Since 1970, the agreement promoted the peaceful use of nuclear energy and encouraged nuclear disarmament. Signatories agreed not to transfer their weapons or help non-nuclear states develop them. And those which did not already have nuclear weapons agreed not to acquire them. The International Atomic Energy Agency has the job of overseeing nuclear material and technology. 191 states are parties to the NPT, making it one of the most widely adhered to arms control agreements. The only major arms control deal between the US and Russia, New START, expires next year. With no new deal in place, the future of global nuclear limits is uncertain. The NPT doesn't expire. It's meant to last indefinitely. But it's reviewed every 5 years, with growing frustration about the slow pace of disarmament. But the treaty is under strain whether it's Iran's alleged violations and allegations that some nations are playing a double game.
Saudi Arabia, I think, would think about pulling out itself. And there might be other countries. Egypt, for example, has long been concerned that Israel doesn't face any international monitoring. And Egypt says that's unfair. And so Egypt, if others pulled out, might think that it would be worth their while to pull out. And, there could be other countries around the world similarly fed up with the international nuclear order.
Israel, India and Pakistan never signed it. North Korea left it in 2003, and if Iran withdraws from the NPT, it would no longer be bound by its rules. Sama Javed, Al Jazeera.
More than 6,000 learning centers for Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh have been forced to close due to a severe funding shortage, depriving over 250,000 children of education. Al Jazeera's Tanveer Chowdhury reports.
Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh is the world's largest refugee camp and home to more than 1 million Rohingya. Half are children aged between 3 to 17, growing up with little access to formal education, care or support. 16-year-old Jasmine dreams of going to university like her elder sister, but her future is now uncertain.
When we go to school, we learn many things and gain knowledge. Now that learning centers are closed, we have to study at home, but it's not the same. It would be great if we could return to school.
According to Save the Children, around 300,000 Rohingya children in the camp may lose their access to education as 6,400 learning centers are being shut down.
We've had to take a really tough decision that's based on money. We don't have the donors who used to come and help us for the Rohingya response available because of geopolitics, and it was because of the lack of money to go forward that we had to close the schools, the learning centres that UNICEF is responsible to.
Aid agencies say only 8% of the funds needed to educate Rohingya in 2025 have been met, and that's forcing learning centers to shut down. They warned this could lead to more children being forced into labor, child marriage, and trafficking. Volunteer teachers are also losing income and hope. Recently, the United Nations Children Fund ended contracts with more than 1,100 local teachers from the host community.
Since the school started in the Rohingya camps, we have been working as teachers. Now, Rohingya children are losing access to education, and nearly 4,000 of our family members are affected by school closures.
For many young Rohingya children, hope was all they had left for the future.
I dreamed of becoming a doctor, but now all the schools are shut down. It feels like our lives are moving backwards, and our hopes for the future are just slipping away.
For now, thousands of Rohingya children wander the camps, stateless and nowhere to go. Their teachers wait in silence, unpaid, hoping help comes before their hope runs out. Tanveer Chaudhry, Al Jazeera, Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it with the 2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.